Hello, my name is Logan and I'm your host, the Mighty Pirate. In this video, I'm going over the Society. My sources for today's video are The Wars of Reaving, Operation Klondike, the novel I Am Jade Falcon, and Sarna.net. The mysterious beginnings of the Society are shrouded in layers of deception and misdirection. Speculated by many, it was born of Clan Coyote scientist caste. Their beginnings could go all the way back to the world of Babylon during Operation Klondike. In 2822, a deal for the surrender of the scientific enclave was worked out, and few details exist about the specifics. But it is known that the enclave surrendered to the Coyotes without a shot being fired, in return for a guarantee that they would be treated as equals. Clan Coyotes Khan accepted the deal, and little else was said about the incident. In time, the Coyotes would become well known for their warriors' close relationship with the scientific caste. One of the Enclave's members' engineering led to the long and painstaking invention of the Omnimech. Originally unveiled to the clans in 2854, this technology would see it into every clan military. Though little about these events would hint at what one day would become known as the Society, its roots were able to spread deep and quietly, thriving during the Golden Century, hidden and protected by the trust of a very well-armed Clan Coyote. The Society was a secret cabal, conclave, organization, or what have you, buried within and stretching across the clan's scientific caste. It, in its essence, cast aside the normal clan conventions and adhered to a hierarchy more devoted to science than the way of the clans. Ruled in a pyramid-style cell structure, only a few among the top select members know the objectives and directions that the Society was moving in. Though dominated by a larger number of scientists attributed to Clan Coyote, the Society had cells in nearly every single clan. The number of cells per clan varied, as far as one could tell. The more strict and rigid the clan was in adherence to Kerensky's tenets, the fewer cells present. After Clan Coyote's Khan's death, a former scientist, Elliot McKebbin, ascended to leadership of the clan. McKebbin had apparently been given another chance at the warrior caste in the late 3060s after the failed Babylon diets, and then acquired his blood name in 3070 through what can only be considered direct manipulation and possible threats. McKebbin attained khanship, and the Society had its first clan ally. By and large, the entire scientist caste was not involved with the Society. Most of the lower echelon scientists and subcaste members still followed proper protocols and procedures. In a few cases, they may have directly contributed to the Society's gains, but were in complete innocence of their actions. The Society's ideas, such as they were, seemed predicated on the issue of "we know better." Apparently, the top-tier members believe in a vision of Kerensky's way that is, in some ways, very different than that of the way of the warrior. Many seem to have felt Kerensky's vision was incomplete due to a lack of factual analysis and hypothesis, and it is believed, as science advanced within the clans, so did the understanding of the true meaning of Kerensky's vision. To them, science was the key to civilization, and without science, there was nothing. This dogmatic thought is held especially true when looking back at the world selected by Kerensky for settlement, harsh landscapes barely capable of supporting humanity, and in many ways, attempting to snuff it out altogether. Only through science, such as terraforming, weapons, and manufacturing, could the clans survive. Society members believed that they were the creators of the clans, taking Kerensky's vision, propagating it, through their manufacturing of the majority of the warrior caste. This perspective gave them license and responsibility to have a greater hand in the course of the clans. Although, according to their reasoning, if the clans were the epitome of man, then the next step forward would be achieved by scientists. It wasn't until Ilkhan Andrews threatened to undo decades of work and research that the Society would even act. The Society's hierarchy was based around a classification of disciplines and ranked according to importance in the clan way. Genetic scientists are at the top of the pecking order due to the emphasis on genetic engineering and manipulation. Armament is second, followed by humanities, space, and then the conventional sciences. In some nod to a warrior code, or probably a parody thereof, the Society uses military-sounding titles and ranks such as Scientist General, Control Commander, and other nonsense, with difference given to age and experience. A subcaste seems to exist as well, connecting the society to the dark caste and its military bandits who acquire salvage and, most importantly, slaves and test subjects from the fringes of clan civilization. To protect their identities and avoid suspicion, all members would publicly follow clan conventions. In private, such distinctions disappeared. As far as can be determined, society cell members never associated themselves with their clan of origin, but mostly with those that shared their discipline. Lack of identifiers made it extremely difficult for various watches to positively identify individuals in the rare documentation or recordings acquired. Even when the society unveiled themselves, many of their soldiers used a form of ultraviolet paint or markers to identify themselves to compatriots. Such invisible marks were used to great effect in some battles, using false colors and markings to sneak up and backstab opponents. The genetic science subcaste contained the largest ratio of society members due to the intense focus given to the eugenics program as a whole. Such attention tended to fuel the ego behind the geneticists, elevating their own importance to unhealthy psychological levels, and allowed the society to blossom accordingly. Society geneticists split into two camps, one largely headed by the clan Coyote Keeper Cyphus, and a smaller splinter group headed by the banished Jade Falcon scientist Etinine. At some point in the late 3050s, the two groups separated for some unknown reason, though many analysts suspect that Falcon Khan, Martha Pride's banishment of Etinine, had a large part to play with the splinter. As such, the homeworld faction lost its pipeline to the inner sphere. Both groups diverged in their experimentation and objectives, though they did maintain periodic contact, share ideas, notes, and some experimental prototypes of medical and mechanical origin. Clues to the Cabal's existence were not noticed again until years after Operation Revival, when evidence pointing to a highly unclan-like genetic experimentation across clan lines came to the surface. While on duty for her clan's watch in 3057, Clan Jade Falcon Star Commander Joanna uncovered evidence of an illegal trade in genetic materials between Clan Wolf and the Clan Jade Falcon scientists. Joanna came into contact with several lower-level operatives during her mission to investigate a garrison on a small, uncharted mining planet called Dog, a rumored hub of strange activity centered on the scientist caste. Thinking it was a Clan Wolf plot to ruin the Jade Falcon genetic legacies with the genes of dead tech stored in vats labeled with names of warriors, the greater significance would take some time to set in. After confronting a watch operative of Clan Wolf named Alvar, posing as a Jade Falcon agent, more information came to light. He illuminated Joanna regarding to what he knew, which his superiors had felt was a Jade Falcon scheme. In reality, these were the first hints about a conspiracy regarding the scientist caste of several clans. Clan Jade Falcon had long held a tight rein on its non-warrior castes, but among the genetic scientists there was quite a bit of freedom. In this environment, where the gene pool and those who tended it were held in reverence, the society flourished, centering on the rise of a true-born warrior caste washout who excelled within the ranks of the scientists named Etinine. The Jade Falcon Society cells worked their way towards many of the same ends of those within their clan. Those scientists who were not part of the society were often in the dark about the experiments and the official plans of their superiors, as was the case with Jade Falcon Chief Scientist Perry on Huntress. She could not help but notice many of the experiments she was denied access in regard to the notes and results, many of which were under the name of the Scientist General Etinine. Perry's notes and observations about the mysterious dealings of the scientist caste confirmed many of what was suspected, but went further in detailing the specifics of their doings. As she uncovered more of their machinations, Etinine would attempt to block her investigations, leading Perry to be placed in the backwaters of the clan homeworlds and away from much of the society's business. One of the main objectives of the geneticists was the continued experimentation of genetic crossbreeding between various legacies beyond clan boundaries. Small illegal subcos were established in remote areas such as Ironhold's deep forest or Delos underwater caverns to test these experimentations. Those deemed successful were re-released or transferred into one of the clan's warrior castes through deception and false codices. Additional testing on new phenotypes was also on the table, though success with these experimentations was rare and eventually branched into the mutagenic virotherapy known as the Synaptic Project. Not only were the clans being manipulated on genetic level, level, they were being stunted in their armament developments. Many improved weapon systems or sensors would be mismanaged, or results would be altered to make the system seem suboptimal. Though many engineers would take the blame for the Society's actions, the Society deemed it a small price to pay for the restructuring of the clans for the rest of time. As these advances were scrapped or mothballed from the various clans, hidden factories were established throughout the clan homeworlds, with several Society cells taking the project a sinister step forward, creating a rough phenotype that were deficient as humans in most ways, spare combat strength or ability. These humans were deemed a ready source of slave labor in the more robust Society facilities, such as the Omni-Mech factory hidden on Tamaran. The slave labor was reused as grunt soldiers when the Society made its move in 3072. The Proto-Mech project was one of the Society's most coveted acquisitions. After Clan Smoke Jaguar debuted the line of Proto-Mechs during its failed defense of Huntress, the Society was unaware of the development due to extremely low-level involvement with Clan Smoke Jaguar scientists. As certain clans attempted to create their own programs of Proto-Mechs, Society cells intentionally stunted some of these projects to make them less appealing. Clan Jade Falcon, disgusted with their own progress, cancelled the program altogether. Scientist Etanine was free to continue development, research, and production on these systems outside of the clan, and gained a number of them as they were decommissioned from active Falcon clan clusters. This created not only a veritable selection of testbeds for new projects, but also created an influx of weapons for his secret army. Very few of the Falcon Proto-Mechs recall made it past Etanine's sanctuary to the homeworlds. Secrecy was paramount to the Society until its revolt in 3072. Most members were unaware of how large the organization was, knowing only those few people within their laboratory or research group. They quickly learned the arts of misdirection and deception to keep the warrior caste from guessing their motives and plans. Communication was done sparingly, usually through codes or in rare face-to-face meetings that required extensive security, often staffed by dark caste brutes. Training of its armies was done in secret, usually through simulators, as large unit movements could be detected by warrior caste. The Society developed systems to mitigate as much as possible the one strength the warrior caste would have over them, aside from numbers, combat experience. Other weapons were developed to offset the power of the clan's warrior caste. System viruses transmitted by communications would incapacitate a world's HPG system and associated networks. Similar programs could neutralize jump ships and warships. Genetic diseases were developed as a sideline project to their crossbreeding and phenotype experimentation, which, if implemented, could incapacitate a bloodline, a genetic line, or even cross castes into the general populace, sowing confusion and sickness. Part of the key to the Society's plan in the homeworlds would be relying on heavily creating chaos and taking advantage of it to assert themselves as the authority and cement their position. A similar approach was conducted by Etanine's splinter group. The geneticist had set his sights on taking over the entire clan, not just a mere caste revolt. Neither Society group succeeded in their ventures. While initially successful, the situation on several worlds spun out of control as diseases ran rampant, infrastructure collapsed, and many civilian castes refused to support the upstart scientists. As more powerful clans regrouped and learned of the destruction, it was only a matter of time before they hammered the Society into annihilation. The same could be said about Etanine's personal war against the Jade Falcon's leadership. While successful in some areas, ultimately his bid for power completely failed. His secret world was discovered and burned. Etanine lost his life and his goals, and took the lives and dreams of millions of other clan scientists with him. Etanine's actions ultimately did hurt the Falcons by gutting their scientific core, but put the clan in a scientific desert for decades to come. That will conclude my video on the Society. Thanks so much for watching. I hope to see you on the battlefield.